Hello. Today, we are going to talk about things that you can do to get prepared for that future purchase. So, here we go. So this time of year is an interesting time of year. We're getting into the holiday season right now, probably kicking yourself for not saving more money to put toward presents, or maybe looking at your budget for the month and going, man, this kind of sucks. So what got me thinking about doing this video was that all of us are kind of in different places of where we are with our finances. And it's of my opinion that a lot more people would be able to buy and own homes if they managed their finances well. And most people don't. And that's mostly a product of the fact that a lot of people don't know a lot about it, or people don't just get taught this sort of thing as like a normal way of living. All right, our parents may not have been the best with money, and so they pass some of those skills down onto us. We don't really learn it in school, and we're just kind of meant to figure it out there on our own. So I wanted to keep it kind of simple, but kind of straightforward. A lot of people look at others that are able to do things they can't financially, and they just think it's luck. Like, man, that person's lucky. It must be nice if you're able to do those things. And you know what? For some people, maybe they inherited stuff. But for the most part, most people work for it or plan or do something to get to where they are. And if you know it's possible to get where you want to be by planning and working hard to do it, now you have somewhere you can go. You have something to work toward. It's not just oh, well, I got the short end of the stick. My life sucks. Whatever it is. But I wanted to be encouraging today. So a definition I like when it comes to luck is preparation. So it starts with preparation, is being prepared. So it's preparation meeting opportunity. So those who have taken care of their finances and put things in order and have saved money over time or done whatever they can to help themselves have some freedom, when the opportunity comes for them to invest or use their money, they're able to do it. Whereas the other person who did not do those things can't. That could be the idea of what you think of as luck, is just preparation meets opportunity. So what do I mean by this? So most people can't buy homes because they carry too much debt. It's just, unfortunately, that's just how it is. They have too much money going out the door every day, every month, and it's not going to them. It's going out the door. So here are some things that we can think about and getting planned for. If you want to buy a home next year, you got to start doing something now. If this is you, if this is someone who thinks I'll never be able to do it, start working toward it. And here's where you could start. Is first, you got to have a budget. You need to see how much money you have going out every month to everything that it has to go out to, and you need to see what those numbers are. If you don't know what your numbers are, you've got nowhere to start from. You have no basis. There's nothing to really figure things out. You got to know where you are. One of the best ways to do this is get your last month's bank statement and look at every dollar you spent and where it went, and write it all down. A piece of paper and a pen. You don't have to have some fancy software. You don't need to go online and use a calculator, which you can. There's lots of them, but you don't have to. Lined paper, college ruled, if you have it. Write everything down, all the dollars that you spent. Look at your paychecks that you put in, how much money came in, and then see where the balance is. How much money do you have going out on credit cards? How much money do you have going out on stuff that you didn't need? Usually there's some room in there, some wiggle room. Do you still pay for television, like for satellite TV? Why? I mean, you can have streaming services. You can do all this other stuff where if you just have internet and streaming, you pretty much get all the same stuff and it costs way less. So there's just things that you can do, but you don't know until you look at your budget and see what your budget is. It's best to look at last month or the month before, take into account the stuff that's kind of one-off, someone's birthday gift, car registration was due, things like that. Things that don't happen every month. They do happen every year, but not every month. Look at your budget. Look at how much money is going out, what's coming in, and start with your budget. See what you can do there. That's step one. That'll give you an idea, a sense of control over your life and your decisions and what you can do with things, because now you actually know what you've done. You can see where you want to get better. That's the first step, is the budget. The second step is you need to pay yourself. As soon as you get paid, if you're a giving person, give money right off the top. Then you need to pay yourself. Now, it's not, you can think of it as saving. You're going to save money, but it's such an abstract idea. At least it is for me. If someone said, use that money to buy something that's an asset, that's a little bit different. But what you're really doing is you're going to pay yourself. You need to put some money aside for savings. Something's got to go in there. If you don't do it right up front, there's not going to be anything left by the end of the month when it comes time to be like, oh, I'm going to save what I don't spend. Well, that money's just going to go away. If you save up front, you learn to live off of what else is there. It's kind of something that helps adjust your thinking a little bit. But it's a good way of doing things, and it makes it easy. You don't have to worry about it. You say, as soon as you got paid, boom, you paid yourself. Whatever that percentage is that you can swing, that's where you start. So budget, pay yourself. You have to do it up front or it's not going to get done. And then we're going to look at debt. Okay, I've got lots of videos on debt and how to leverage debt and use it, and how to improve your FICO scores, how to make things working better when you're going to buy a house. But just from this perspective, you have to line up your debt and see what can you get rid of, because that's the stuff that these are companies that are basically taking your money that you are working for. You're working to pay these companies off for stuff that you bought. Now, whether you needed it or didn't need it isn't really the issue at this point. This point is, how do I get rid of the debt? You gotta stop using the credit cards, and you need to start paying them off, and this is where you gotta use the debt snowball. Now, I have the same mind as people like Dave Ramsey, where it's all about getting completely out of debt, and I understand that. Some debt is always gonna be there, because most people aren't gonna be able to buy a house cash. It's just not in the cards for most people. So you're gonna have to utilize debt in some way. But when it comes to your ancillary debt, your stuff here, credit cards, even car payments and stuff, let's get that knocked out. So you're getting ready to buy a house next year. You want to see what you can do, how you can leverage everything the best you can. You got a budget. You have an idea of what's coming in, what's going out, what you want to do with it. Now utilize the debt snowball. And if you're not familiar with this, you pay your smallest debt off first. You put all your effort and energy into paying that sucker off. That frees up whatever that minimum payment is, and now you get to add it to the next biggest debt. And you get that thing knocked out even faster because now you're paying more towards it. And then that gets paid off. And then you get to leverage those two minimum payments onto that next debt. And eventually you're able to pay a lot more money to your bigger debts and pay them off faster. That's your debt snowball. It snowballs because it picks up momentum. Eventually you have all this extra money that's not going out to all these companies that you're able to just knock out these debts. Now, something that I didn't mention that's also kind of like a Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University thing is that you have to have some money saved up to keep you from using your credit cards. Now, he recommends $1,000. I don't think $1,000 is enough. I mean, if you have a family and things go sideways and you got to pay for stuff, I think you need to have a little bit more than $1,000, okay? Kids need braces. You might have some unexpected medical stuff pop up. You got to have something to get you in between those two things. So their program recommends $1,000. I would say at least $2,000 to $3,000, a nice safety net to keep you between you and having to use those cards, especially if you have things like car trouble, stuff that's expensive that just can pop up. You don't want it to just drag you down. So you have to have some money in savings first. Start working your debt snowball and start just knocking out your debts. And then you'll find that out of all the money that's coming into you every month from the work that you put into it, all of those minutes, all that you get paid for, you get paid by the hour, your time isn't just being spent on paying off these cards anymore. You actually start having more and more that you get to use to pay those things off. And now you're able to save money. You can buy a house, you have less debt, you can qualify for more, you can improve your quality of life that way. Right now, in a lot of places, owning a home costs a lot less than rent. Rent is expensive, and that never accumulates for you in your favor. You're paying somebody else's mortgage. It's not fun, but that's reality if you're renting. If you want to improve and you want to get away from renting, if you want to get to where you can buy something at some point, that's the way you got to go. So I feel really inspired for this video today because this is such a big thing, and it's something that I've been through. It's something that my family's gone through. Is just managing your stuff, knowing your numbers, working through the process, and just pounding it out every single month, just doing what you can to pay off your debt and get things in line and give yourself some freedom. Because once you have freedom away from creditors and all that stuff, your labor, your work, the money that comes in from it belongs to you, and you can choose what to do with it. You're not going to be strapped. It's something that anybody and everybody can do as long as you know what your numbers are. Now, if you're in a bad spot where things are just always going down, then you might need professional help. You might have to look at other options. But for the average person, you can utilize what you have so much more. So anyway, that's it for me today. I hope that can inspire anybody here. Comment down below if you've paid off debt, if you've worked through those processes and it's given you some freedom, some hope. Comment down below, share that with other people. These are all good things to help people and motivate them because it's not easy. This isn't a diet pill. This isn't 8-minute abs. There is no quick fix when it comes to these sort of things. You have to put in the work. But the juice is worth the squeeze. It's worth it. So that's it for today. So if you like this kind of content, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, do whatever you think is going to help motivate, help other people, and I'll catch you on the next video. All right, peace.